9 months ago, she had zero money, zero experience, and yesterday she bought her first self-storage facility. And I'm about to share with you in this video how she was able to pull off what most people believe is impossible. And that's the thing, right? Is the reason people don't buy their first self-storage facility is because of their belief systems. They think they need to have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy these assets. They think they need to have real estate experience. And I'm gonna break down exactly how she was able to find this deal, fund the deal, and close on it without using any of her own money. So I want to share a quick story with you. When this lady came to me about 9 months ago, she had a lot of fears, a lot of doubts, a lot of concerns. She wanted to buy a storage facility because ultimately she wanted more consistent cash flow. She wanted options. She wanted time freedom, financial freedom, but yet she wasn't sure where to start. She didn't have a roadmap. She had a lot of uncertainty, right? And maybe you can relate to that. You know, as humans, our minds are meaning-making machines, meaning that we create a meaning about things that may or may not even serve us. And I often find that the inner critic, sometimes that voice is so loud that it prevents people from even taking that first step. But to her credit, you know, she came to me and she had a strong why. And one of the things I always share with coaching clients is BDCA. B, belief. D, decide. C, commit. And A, act. And to her credit, you know, her belief system needed some work, but I gave her the confidence that she could do this if she plugged into a community. Number one, if she believed in herself. Number two, if she plugged into a community. And if she just consistently followed the roadmap and the process. And that's exactly what she did. She had a strong why. She believed in herself. She decided. In other words, she made owning a storage facility a non-negotiable. And I told her, I said, this isn't going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in the next week or 2 weeks. But if you do what I'm about to share with you consistently, and you continue to believe in yourself, and you take massive imperfect action, then the end result of buying a storage facility is inevitable. And I'm a big believer and advocate of getting clear about the desired end goal that you have, right? Set the goal and then reverse engineer your way there to figure out what you need to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And when done consistently, you will eventually achieve your outcome. Now, I want to caution you because this is where most people fail. They fail before they even start. You see, most people feel like they have to have everything figured out before they even take the first step. People feel like they need to have the answers to steps 4, 5, and 6, but yet they don't even know what step 1 is. They wait for the stars to align, and then that's when the inner critic starts to get louder and louder. Doubt starts to creep in, fear starts to creep in. You start to question yourself, do you have the ability to do whatever it is you're desiring to do? If you're watching this video, chances are you're interested in self-storage because of what you believe it can do for you. And I want to encourage you, resist the urge to feel like you need to have all the answers to things that don't even matter at this stage of the game for you. And to her credit, when she came to me, she said, hey, this is why I want to do this. This is my reason. This is my why. I don't know what I don't know, but I know that I'm looking for somebody like you that has been there, done that. And I want to plug into a community that can support me, that can guide me, that can keep me accountable. And you know, it's interesting, within our online private community, we have accountability trackers, and those that achieve success and that are really gaining progress and momentum are the ones that are tracking the key performance indicators, the KPIs, the metrics that have a significant impact that when done consistently on a daily, weekly basis, put yourself in a position to close on that next storage facility. So one of the things that I share within our Storage Wins community is the acronym LMAO. So L is list building. So we encourage you to find a virtual assistant to build your list of storage prospects and mom and pop storage facilities on a daily basis. So every single day we have a steady pipeline of mom and pop storage operators. M, meaningful conversations. This is really where the rubber meets the road, is you have to have meaningful conversations on a daily basis with storage owners in order to put yourself in a position to build rapport and ultimately be able to potentially buy their storage facility. And we encourage people to have 3 to 5 meaningful conversations on a daily basis. The A is for analyzing deals, right? One of the things that I really feel stops people is they look at a storage facility, they look at some of the financials, and they get stuck. They don't know what to do. Well, we have simplified the process that within a 60-second period, it's almost like if we're playing playing Monopoly. Are you gonna pass go and collect $200 or are you not? And the deal doesn't even make sense to go any further. So within 60 seconds, we're able to quickly identify and determine, hey, is this a deal, a potential deal that's worth our time, energy, and attention? And so one of the things I always share with our coaching clients is get in the habit of analyzing one deal a day. And if you do that consistently for 30 days, you're gonna understand what's a storage deal and what's not. And then the O in LMAO is offers. You know, it's hard to get on base if you don't swing the bat, and you certainly can't hit the home run if you're in the bleachers or in the dugout and you don't step up to the plate. So once we understand how to analyze deals, we make offers every time we speak to a storage owner, unless the deal doesn't fall inside of our buy box and it's just not what we're looking for. And you know, my coaching client who just closed on her self-storage facility yesterday, to her credit, she knew exactly what she was looking for. And the interesting thing is, because she took massive imperfect action, because she bet on herself, stepped outside of her comfort zone and joined our coaching community, she was actually able to find the deal inside of our community. So one of our Storage Wins ambassadors actually brought the opportunity into the community, and she was able to go ahead and buy it. You know, and something I always share is that opportunity doesn't wait around. When you know what you're looking for and you find the right opportunity, you have to seize it. You have to jump on it. And there were a lot of people that were interested in this deal, and to her credit, she quickly analyzed it. She quickly expressed interest, and within a couple of days, she said, hey, I want this deal. And then she started the process of, you know, due diligence and lining up the financing. And that's actually something really, really interesting. People tell me all the time, hey, Alex, I need money to buy storage. Well, not only have I done it numerous times, but now here is another coaching client who bought a storage facility without using any of her own money. You know, she took the time and was very intentional about building relationships with other members in the Storage Wins community, so much so that we had 2 members raise their hand and say, hey, I want to fund, I want to be a part of this deal. And she needed 30% to get into the deal. And the bank was going to finance 70% of the purchase price, and she needed 30%, which she didn't have. And 2 members within our community teamed up, came together. They got some equity, they got a piece of the deal, they got some ownership in the deal, and she was able to buy this deal without using any of her own money. She got the 30% from a couple of members within our community because she was intentional about building relationships, and she went to the bank, a small local bank. So whenever you're thinking of getting bank financing for these storage deals, I want to encourage you to look locally where the facility is located, because you're not looking at the big banks like Chase and Regions and Wells Fargo. You're likely going to get it funded if you're going to go the bank route with a small local community bank. That's exactly what she did. So she went through the process. She learned a ton going through due diligence. I'll actually create a video to walk you through how she was able to find her boots on the ground, what was the due diligence process that she went through. And it took her about 2 to 3 months to get this deal closed. And yesterday she crossed the finish line. She sent me a text. She was super excited. Were there some hiccups and bumps along the road? Sure, but that's to be expected, right? Like, don't ever set the expectation that everything is always going to go smooth. There's always going to be some challenges and concerns, but if you keep the belief in yourself, right? Remember what I said earlier, believe, decide, commit, and act. She had a strong belief in herself, and it was backed by a strong why. So she had a reason to follow through when things got challenging. She decided that she was going to own a storage facility. It was a non-negotiable for her. She committed to do it. She followed the process. She plugged into our community. You know, she took massive imperfect action. She held herself accountable, and she allowed us to hold her accountable. And then she acted and she pulled the trigger. She made the offer. She went out there, performed due diligence. She got the financing and the funding. She found the equity partners, the people to invest in the deal with her. And now she's a proud owner of an awesome storage facility that is over 90% occupied. It's going to cash flow from day one, and she is going to absolutely crush it with this. I'm super pumped for her. And look, if you might be watching this saying, hey, Alex, you can do it and she can do it because of X, Y, Z. Well, remember what I shared with you earlier. Humans have meaning-making machines. Ask yourself if what you believe is serving you or if it's acting as a barrier between where you are and where you want to be. So I want to encourage you to book a call if you would like to learn how you can find the storage facility, fund the storage facility, and buy it. Regardless of your situation, regardless if you have money or regardless if you feel you need a certain level of experience, which by the way you don't, I want to encourage you to head over to storagewins.com/apply, book a call, and we'll just have a very brief conversation and see if it's a fit. storagewins.com/apply.